Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hey, thanks for joining me again today, my friends. We are on my living room floor talking about books. Today's specific topic is book haul. This is my first book haul that I have recorded on video. My birthday's coming up Sunday, so my wife took me out yesterday to get some books at the Treasure Trove, which is none other than Half Price Books. I was there yesterday. I got 9 mass market paperbacks for $30, which I'm shocked still at that price. A week before that, I was with my good friend Daniel in Westerville, and I bought a couple more books when I was there. Got 2 for my wife and a few for myself. So I just wanted to kind of unpack those and take a look at them with you. So first, let's start off with Tim Powers on Stranger Tides. I think I've heard of this movie before, so that's kind of what drew me to it. The cover's okay. It's got the menacing skull and bones. It's nothing crazy. But this is basically about a story of a young man who goes to get his inheritance, I believe, his birthright, but then his ship is captured by pirates. So he's offered a choice by the captain to join their seafaring band or die. So that's kind of what starts, and there's some more adventures they go on along the way, including following the ghost of Blackbeard and a motley crew of living and dead pirates that are cursed on the banks of the Fountain of Youth. So there's some Fountain of Youth questing going on as well. It's not too long, 319 pages. It looked interesting, so I was like, I might as well snag it. So I don't know when I'll read this one, but I'm always up for reading kind of different genres, and this is probably more sci-fi or historic fiction than fantasy. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Also, a young adult fantasy I picked up is the third Redwall book, which is Matameo. Don't know how to say that. What a gorgeous cover, though. Look at that. Like one of those old Renaissance paintings. This is one of the older paperback editions, I believe. Someone had sold a few of these, and they come in just a few days before, and I wanted to get this copy because I'm currently about a quarter of the way through the second Redwall book, which is Mossflower. Really enjoying it. Just a bunch of woodland creatures that are living at this abbey, and they're fighting off antagonists like big rats or stoats, ferrets. There's a cat, or like a feral cat, that's a leader in Mossflower that's terrorizing the local animals there. So it's a story of like good versus evil, lighthearted at points. There can be some heavy themes, but it's really good. Brian Jakes, the author, has some great descriptions. There's some great descriptions just for the characters, the elements that they're in, the terrain, the scenery, and then like the food as well is beautifully described. So love these books. It's a delight. So I'm excited to read this one. I'll probably get into it sometime in the early summer. We'll see. Okay, the third one here is called The Unlikely Ones by Mary Brown. Have no idea what this is about. The cover caught my eye. And I guess it's about a girl who teams up with like a goldfish, a kitten, a crow, a few other unlikely heroes, and they go on some epic quest together. So like the Library Journal or Anne McCaffrey said it's a really good fantasy story. So I'm excited. It's kind of like a blind buy, not knowing what's going on. They don't, they say don't buy a book based on its cover, but it's a really cool cover. I like it. It published by Baen Fantasy. So I'm excited to check that one out. Maybe later this spring or summer. Fourth and fifth is a duology I found by Gene Wolfe. Don't really know about him, but he was spoken highly of by Neil Gaiman and Tad Williams. The first book is called The Knight in the duology. The second is called The Wizard, and the duology is called The Wizard Knight, it looks like. So, some cool covers there. Basically, this is about a young man who travels in time from his own universe to a fantasy realm and kind of turns into this hero. He becomes a knight, and he calls himself Abel of the High Heart and sets out on a quest to find a sword that has been promised to him. A sword he will get from a dragon, the one very special blade that will help him fulfill his life ambition to become a true knight and a true hero. So it sounds like a fun kind of high fantasy adventure here where someone living in the world gets transported to a magical realm. I'm hoping it touches on some themes, maybe like Terry Brooks' Kingdom for Sale Sold, the Landover series. Um, yeah, not really sure what else to expect from that one, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, my next book here is a book by Michael Crichton. I know people rave about his books. Prey, I think, was one of his bigger ones, as well as Jurassic Park. I've never read any of his books. I started Prey, but I couldn't get into it really. So I got this one. I didn't know he had written it. It's Congo, which is about a scientific team deep in the heart of Africa that was brutally attacked, and their whole camp was just destroyed, and there was some video evidence of it. And so I think the protagonists are going to send a second team out to investigate what was going on, why it happened, who attacked them. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie with good old Tim Curry, a bunch of basically silverback gorillas that just go ham on some scientists. So I'm excited to check it out. I don't know if it'll be as funny as it was on film, just seeing these animatronic or like people in gorilla suits beating the snot out of people. I'm guessing it'll be a little more scientific based. They'll be thrown around a lot of language, probably scientific terms, because I heard that's kind of like what they did with Jurassic Park. The book was more science heavy, where the movies were more action, which just happens when you adapt things to the screen. Okay, so in January I read Robert Jordan's The Eye of the World. And I've been looking for these mass market paperback editions, so I picked up The Great Hunt and then The Dragon Reborn, which I believe is 2 and 3 of the series. One of my good friends, Grant, has read this and highly recommended it. And I read the first one, really enjoyed it. Took me a bit. It's that kind of reading where I really want to pay attention to every detail because there's so many characters. They're traveling to so many places, and then there's characters that are kind of coming back that you have to be like, well, who was this and what are they doing back here again? Oh, it's that person. Okay. Great series, though. I hear it takes quite a shift in tone in the second, and maybe just the rest of the series even, not even just the second and third. So I'm excited to start these again. Like I said, I really love these mass market paperback editions. There's a newer one that a lot of the stores have, which is cool as well, but it's a little more plain. It doesn't have any pictures. It's just the title and then like a blank background color or something. So I'm excited to do that. I'm always looking for Robin Hood books, so I have quite a collection of random ones here. So I picked up Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first book of the Farseer trilogy. I read this a long time ago, and I just didn't have the second or third one, so I kind of forgot what had happened. And my same friend Grant, who was reading The Wheel of Time, is currently reading these books, and he was just saying how good they are. So I'd like to give this one another chance to get back into it. So I had to get this one because I gave it to a friend for his birthday. So I had to get it. And Robin Hood books, they're very few and far between at these used bookstores because everyone's buying them up. So they had someone come in that brought their massive book collection, fantasy and sci-fi books. And so there were just a few of these riddled in there that I got. They're not even in the same series. But first one was Assassin's Apprentice. Next one is The City of Dragons, which is the Grainkeeper of the Wilds or something series. Rainwild's Chronicles, excuse me. Have a few of these already. And then Fool's Errand, which is the Tawny Man trilogy, first book. And then the Livership Traders series, The Mad Ship. So I've not read any of those books. Really, the only Robin Hood book that I've read is Assassin's Apprentice. I know they're all in the same universe, so I'm going to read that one again and hopefully move through the series. I really enjoyed her series that's in a separate universe, the Soldier Son trilogy, which gets a lot of flack. People don't like it, but it was really like, they were some of the first books I read getting into fantasy in high school. I really enjoyed the Western themes of the conflict between like Native Americans and Europeans or Americans that were moving into the West, and it's such a somber tale of just them reclaiming more and more land. Navarre Burville is the protagonist, and his life sucks. So it's hard to read those books, but they are really well done. I'd recommend them highly if anyone's looking for more Robin Hood to read. If you've read all of her other books, check out the Soldier Son trilogy. They're good. And then her other pen name, Megan Lindholm, I think. She's written a couple other really good books. I'll probably talk about them at some point. Like I really liked her Wolf Brother, I think, duology or Reindeer People. Those are really good. So yeah, that's that. Last book I got for myself here is called Autumn of the Black Snake by William Hoagland. I think I said his name right, hopefully. It's a excuse me, history book kind of taking place after the Revolutionary War. So the war ended in 1783. The newly independent United States savored its victory and hoped for a great future. And yet the Republic soon found itself losing an escalating military conflict with Native American tribes on the borderlands. So in Autumn of the Black Snake, William Hoagland tells the absorbing story of how George Washington thereupon revived the career of the disgraced Revolutionary War hero Anthony Wayne and sent him into battle at the head of our first true standing army. So I don't know, it sounded interesting. The cover is kind of intriguing, and I saw it at a used book or at a bookstore in Mount Vernon for like $22, and this was only like 8 or 9 altogether. So I thought I might as well pick it up. I don't really know if I'll like it at all. I don't know if there will be like I don't really read these type of books often. So I'm excited to kind of delve out into that genre of like history books. Got 2 books for my wife a week ago. She read the first Harry Potter several months ago, really enjoyed it. So I found a hardback of Chamber of Secrets. So she is going to be reading this, I think, probably in the next couple months or so. She's currently reading another series, but she really enjoyed it, and I think I'd like to read these at some point as well. My good friend Daniel read them and really recommended them, so yeah, it's nice to have these now so I can, if I'm in the mood for something like that, I can just pick it up and read it. And then secondly, she read Rebecca Ross's Divine Rivals, got it at the library and really enjoyed it, so she wanted to have a physical copy as well, just so she can have it for the bookshelf. And she really liked this series. She's in the second one right now. Ruthless Vows, maybe, is what it's called. But Rebecca Ross seems to write really good books. It's a duology, and it's like a fantasy or historical fiction. And I think, I don't want to like misquote my wife, but she enjoys it because it has like the action and the like fantasy elements, and there's romance as well, but it's not like overly smutty like you'll find in a lot of other adult novels like Fourth Wing or Sarah J Maas books. Of course, not all of them are overly smutty, but she enjoys that there's the romance, but it's not like pages and pages of it, okay? So yeah, that's really everything I got in the last week or so. Curious to know if you've picked up any books in the last couple of weeks. Let me know what they are. Drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to just know what you're reading or what you're hoping to read. And I appreciate you sticking along for this book haul. I know it was a little longer, but there was a lot of books to go through. So happy reading, everybody. Thanks again for joining me here on the living room floor, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.